It's the only major resource of its kind in Britain. Thousands of pieces of history collected across the decades. And now, the rest of the world is getting a chance to see some of it. Over the last 48 years, the Brookings National Collection has tracked the history of Britain's architectural detail over 500 years. It's produced a unique insight into how to conserve historic buildings, and a social history that tells its own tale of development from the highest to the lowest, from royal palaces to workmen's cottages. Now, it's the Brookings collection of historic windows that will catch the eye at the Venice Biennale. The exhibition of the world's architecture is staged every other year in the city of canals, romance and dreams. In 2014, the theme is Elements of Architecture, the fundamentals. At the heart of it, almost 70 of the Brookings windows will form a prominent display in the central pavilion. Carefully selected and carefully preserved, they will give a profile of Britain's architectural development over the centuries. It's worth considering the sheer extent of this collection. Since it began in 1966, it's expanded so quickly it's hard to keep track. Estimates begin at around 200,000 items. Each one has its own story, and nothing is kept that does not give a new insight. The core of the Brookings is here, in the home gallery. Extensive displays of casement and sash windows. But there's much more, and it's all used for teaching as well. Sections that show the inner workings of a sash window and how it was made. A row of them, side by side, all different, all showing different ways that craftsmen of the past made the most of the technology of their age. Fan lights. Staircases, banister rails, balusters. A whole world of glass. Doors. And their fittings. Fire grates, hob grates, register grates, basket grates, dog grates, fire frames, mantel registers, patent types, tiled register grates. But most items are kept in store, everything from doorknobs to pulleys, where the collection's founder, Charles Brookings, can keep track of it all. And for Charles, the museum is just the start. There are continuing professional development sessions across the country, with architects in Clerkenwell perhaps, or to a more varied audience in the heart of the Sussex countryside. Behind all this lies the hard graft of preservation and conservation, in wood or in metal. And when it came to preparing for the Venice Biennale, friends and supporters and local craftsmen all chipped in. As work on designing the display progressed, one of the show's organisers flew in from Rotterdam to spend a day checking through measurements and shapes for each of the exhibits. So the almost 70 windows and sections of windows were selected and prepared for a journey across Europe that their original designers could never have expected for them. They came from buildings that ranged from a workhouse in Kent to the royal residence of Windsor Castle near London. Some of them were partly stripped to show the beauty of the wood and the method of the making. Some were imposingly large, with a wonderful complexity of carving, shape and detail. Some showed the many inventive ways that metal has been used to bring light into a building, right up to recent designs. From simple, subtle curves to the sturdiest of sash designs. And beneath layer upon layer of paint, the depth and harmony of carefully fashioned wood. The work of many craftsmen now rests on the dedication of one man. And endless hard work. Meanwhile, the glass in the windows bound for Venice must be protected on their journey. Days of hardboard cutting and shaping. And fixing into place. Some of it is easy. And some of it is not. These windows have survived for centuries. Now they must be looked after. Once packed, they're much easier to move. When the day arrives, the lineup is complete, and the exhibits bound for Venice are finally ready to go. Almost. With time for final thoughts, unpacking the exhibits. Before the van arrives. With experts who know the intricacies of long-distance transport. Can all this fit into the back of one small van? Within 3 hours, the answer becomes clear. Yes, it can all fit in. Just a week later, the windows arrived in Venice, undamaged and ready to bring light to a new generation.